Alright, so in this section I want to go over just the fundamentals of blogging, what it is, why people blog, what it can do for your website and your company, things of that nature. Now, for those of you still living in the Stone Age, a blog is an informational website or part of a website that consists of posts or entries or articles, you can call them whatever you'd like, just bits of information, and they're usually listed in reverse chronological order. They're usually listed with the most recent first, and then the second recent, and so on. Blog posts can be created by just one or by multiple writers. Up until about 2009, it was very common for one person to run one blog. But after 2009, blogs really hit, and there's now blogs with hundreds to thousands of people that manage it and post articles and so forth. And blogs typically, I'm not going to say always, but typically, most of the time, involve some kind of comment system or some kind of user interaction system. When people go to a site and they read a blog post, and it's something that they're into and they really feel strong about, they want to be able to be heard, and they want to be able to leave some feedback. Blogs usually have a specific niche and target reader. So basically, a blog will usually have a circle of topics that it will talk about. For instance, most of my blogs have to do with web technology. So I'm in the web technology niche, but I'll have topics like programming, design, SEO, internet marketing. So pretty much just a table of topics, and that's usually how most blogs are. There are some blogs that are just global and will talk about anything, but most of them have a certain topic. So what's the point of a blog? Well, there's a lot of reasons to have a blog, but I think the most important reason to have a blog is to drive traffic to your website. And not only to bring traffic to your website, but to have recurring traffic, having the same users come back. Because let's set up a scenario. Let's say that you have a consulting firm of whatever, some kind of consulting company, and you just spent thousands of dollars on a nice new flashy website, and you have a nice home page, you have an about page, maybe a page with your services, a contact form, and that's it. It's a really nice site. People love it. But what is going to make a person come back to that site? They're not going to come back to read your about page again. They're going to come back if you have new dynamic content with valuable information. Valuable information is key, because anyone can start up a blog and just copy and paste somebody else's content or just quickly reword it. You need to have valuable content that people aren't going to find anywhere else. So that's definitely the number one reason to have a blog, or to have a blog on your website. Okay, this diagram I got off WordPress.org, and it just shows basically how most blogs are set up. I would say anywhere from 80 to 90% of the blogs on the internet are set up like this, or pretty similar. Some will have 3 columns, they'll have another sidebar on the left side, but for the most part, the left side is one big column, and then we have the skinnier column on the right. And the reason for that usually is because, at least in the English language, we read left to right, so the main content has the more important info, and the right sidebar is more for archives and stuff like that. So I'll go over these columns really quick. The main column, it'll usually have between 4 and 6 blog posts, separate blog posts, but you won't have the entire article. You won't have all the text. You'll have some kind of intro text, usually maybe 1 paragraph, and then you'll see a little read more link, so the visitor can click read more, and then they'll go to that full post. So you have that. You have the intro text, the title, the date that the post was written, and then some comments. Usually on the main page with the intro text, you won't see the comments. You'll have to click on read more, and then you'll see the comments at the bottom of the page, usually along with a comment form. And like I said earlier, they usually displayed newest to oldest. I have seen blogs that displayed the older info first, and I never really understood that, but most of the time it's newest to oldest. So that's the main column. The sidebar, can have ads, it can have forms, it can have anything really. Especially in WordPress, you can use what's called widgets, and you can put different widgets on your sidebars. But usually, this is very common, they'll have an archive of older articles, usually by date. So they might have January, February, March, and you click on those links and you'll go to the post for that particular month. That's how it's done a lot of times. People, if they have multi-categories, they'll also have the categories to click on, and then it'll take them to the posts in that particular category. Tags. I'm not sure why this categories is pointing to tags, because they're really two different things. But tags, usually you'll have some kind of tag cloud. If you go to a post and your post is on, I don't know, baseball bats, then you'd have some tags in the side, maybe baseball, baseball bats, sports equipment, stuff like that, just tags that have to do with the article. And that used to be really good for SEO, for search engine optimization, but search engines, especially Google, they're looking less at main keywords and they're looking more at how all the content comes together. So tags aren't really as important as they used to be. Just like meta keywords, Google doesn't use that to rank whatsoever, but that's another course. So under the tags, you might have a blog. You might have a blog roll, and what that is just a list of sites that the blog writer found interesting or related. Usually third-party websites. Alright, so here we have the common types of blogs. And I don't know if types is the right word, maybe category. Just different kinds of blogs that exist. Personal, in my opinion, is the most popular. There's a lot of personal blogs out there. Famous people that aren't famous, authors, just personal blogs where there's one main writer, maybe a couple side guest posts or something like that, but usually one main person runs the blog. A business blog, obviously, if you have a business website, you might have a business blog on that website where people from your company will post, or maybe they'll designate one blogger and he'll post or she'll post. Schools is another big one. Most high schools and colleges, most of them have some kind of news or blog area on their site. Non-profits, music and entertainment, maybe a music artist may have a new album coming out, and they'll make blog posts on that. Military, private blogs that maybe you have to register or maybe you have to pay to subscribe to or to read. Sports blogs, how-to blogs, those are really big. How to do different things. Reviews, ratings and reviews. Maybe you have a movie rating blog or something like that. So just a couple different types, and there's more than this. This is just the ones that come to my mind first. So here's some blog lingo. These are just words that you'll hear once you start blogging or reading other people's blogs. You'll see these words quite a bit. The first one we have is archives, and you probably already know what that is. It's not specific to just blogs, but archives is just a group of records or a group of posts that are in some kind of way related, usually by date, usually by month or year. Usually you'll have an archives widget on the side, and it may have January 2013, February 2013, just different posts that are organized by date. So feeds. A feed is a machine-readable content publication, and it's updated regularly. A feed is usually written in XML, extensive markup language, and it can be read by a feed burner. An example of a feed burner would be RDF or Atom. A feed reader is a piece of software that can read new content off your site automatically and update your readers without your readers actually having to go to your site. They could actually use the feed reader to quickly get the information from you and from your site. Blog roll, like I said in the diagram, a blog roll is usually a list of third-party sites that are in some way related to the blog or a certain post. So basically just links to other sites. Syndication. Syndication refers to feeds, usually RSS feeds, that the blogger has published that are available for readers to use. So they provide a way for your readers to get updated information without having to go to your blogs. And that's usually called subscribing. A user can subscribe to your news feed. Alright, so let's move on. Let's move on to top blogging platforms. Now, WordPress dominates the blog market right now. It's the most popular platform. 48% of the top 100 blogs on the internet use WordPress, and that includes companies that have their own blog platform, their own proprietary software, because some people or some companies will build their own blogging software, but 48% use WordPress, which is pretty impressive. So the next runner-up in terms of most popular blogging platforms is Blogger. Blogger is run by Google, and it is a hosted solution. I haven't gone over self-hosted and hosted solutions yet. WordPress has both. WordPress.com is hosted, so your blog is actually hosted on their servers, and you log in and you make posts. Self-hosted means that you actually download the WordPress platform and you install it on your own web host, and you have full control of it. Alright, now all of these up here besides WordPress are all hosted solutions. It means that it's on their servers. So Blogger, you go and you sign up, you log in, and you create your posts. And one big plus for Blogger is that it's very simple. It's well laid out and very, very simple. It doesn't have near as many features as WordPress, but it's good for the non-tech savvy person, because they can easily log in and create posts. So that's a real plus for Blogger. Blog.com is actually powered by WordPress, so you have pretty much the same functionality as the hosted WordPress system. Joomla is a content management system. It's not a blogging tool. Well, it's not a blogging platform. It's for websites, and it has a content management system which allows you to log in like you would to WordPress or another blog system, and you can create pages. But you can also set those pages up in a blog structure, so it can be used as a blog. Twitter, Tumblr, and Jukes are all microblogging platforms. I'm not going to go into those really because it's kind of a different animal altogether. Twitter is a microblog where you could have a post with 10 words in it, so it's not really a true blog. All right, let's see, what do we got next? And that's it. That's it for this section. I hope that you have a good understanding of blogging and its history and why people blog, as well as the tools that are available to us to create a blog. So that's it. I will see you in section 2. Thanks.